everybody, it's WoW Casual Collections here, and I'm super excited to finally be making this video. I've been hoping to be able to make it for years just to prove this can still be done, because there isn't a ton of videos out there of this achievement being done solo, but with it being 2026 now, the fact that it can still be done, I had to prove, just so people know that if they want to do this solo, it can still be done. I ended up using a hunter, not because of having the pet. I mean, if you really want to use your pet, you can experiment with that. I thought it was easier to calculate with damage over time abilities instead. I also think this is very possible to do with a demon hunter or a warlock. The reason I used a hunter is, like I said, isn't because of the pet factor. I didn't even use pets. I had pets put away. I felt like the damage over time was easier to calculate, and they have that feign death ability. That ability gives you many chances if you know you've goofed on the rotation that you're going to use for it, or that your timing of jumping or flying up to grab the egg. You can use that feign death most of the time. If you are falling off the platform as you're being levitated back up to the platform, you won't be able to use it, but that's the only time. And generally, if all goes well, you still have time to use it after you've been put back up on the platform. So just keep that in mind. But generally, the feign death does work just fine. I reset the boss many times when I was trying to get this, and with that feign death only goofed it up to the point where I had to wait for the weekly reset a few times. So that would be my recommendation, would be to use a hunter for that reason. If you do use a demon hunter, I think it's very possible with their damage over time in their talent tree to be able to do this as well, but I would recommend using a night elf demon hunter as opposed to a blood elf, or even now a void elf, because they have that shadow meld ability. With the shadow meld with the night elves, just like with feign death, it's pretty much the only way you can reset the boss without just teleporting completely out and having to run all the way back, whether you use the Kirin beacon or you hearth to where your hearthstone is connected to. All in all, shadow meld is much easier to use, so that's why I would recommend either hunter or a night elf. Demon hunter, warlocks, I'm not sure if they have any way of resetting the boss in that same way, so, but I do think their dots would also work as far as timing this right. So I am just going to walk you through what I did, what happened to work for me. So I used a level 50 hunter. Her HP is 12,933, and I used 3 hits of Cobra Shot and then 1 hit of the Barbed Shot, I believe. I'll double check that in just a second. So I actually forgot to set my timer up in the corner. I had been using a timer to track exactly when to jump down versus when to jump off the lower platform to fly, because the flying buff isn't very long. It's shorter than those 20 seconds that it takes for the egg to fall, so if you fly up too soon, you're gonna lose your wings, and even when the egg falls, you won't catch it. So unfortunately for making this video, I'm just gonna have to tell you from what I remember, because I actually forgot to set my timer on the round that actually worked. So I jump off this big platform at about 10 seconds. And then about 3 seconds after that, so at 13 seconds, I start to kill the baby birds to get the wing buff and use that wing buff a couple seconds later to meet the egg somewhere in the middle as it starts to fall at 20 seconds. So just remember 10 seconds to jump, about 13 seconds, 12 to 13 seconds to grab those wings and fly up within the next couple seconds after that. With the hunter, I used, like I said, 3 cobra shots in that first 10 seconds, and right before I jumped, I used barbed shot. So I will show you how that run went. Just as you're watching, keep verbally what those numbers were in mind, because I didn't start my timer for this round. It was like the one round I didn't set the timer, and maybe the fact it wasn't distracting me is the reason that I got it. So I hit her 3 times with that cobra shot, hit her with barb shot, jump down, kill the chick, wait a few seconds, fly up, the egg will spawn now, and caught the egg, and there's the achievement. So she died milliseconds after I caught the egg. So the timing is really, really touchy. It might even benefit to use a slightly lower level than 50, so that you do a little less damage, or maybe take your armor off if you don't want to cut it that close. But this is just proving that it can still be done solo. I was super, super excited about this. I'm still giddy about it. So I really, really hope this helps someone save a lot of time, because everything out there that I've seen is pretty old now, and so it's just different now with how you have to calculate it. So I really hope this helps someone. Thanks for watching.